girl named Chelsea is on a video call with her friend Mia. Mia talks about the guy she's getting to know and shares that she feels insecure about Dylan sending her photos to his friends. She says that if he does send them, she'll send them to Chelsea. However, Chelsea doesn't want to receive any photos and tells Mia that she's going to hang up because she needs to go to school. Chelsea finds her mom decorating the house for Halloween and asks if she can take her to school because she doesn't want to go with her sister, Christina, to avoid being seen as arrogant. But her mom refuses and says she needs to learn to get along with Christina. Then, Christina mocks Chelsea when she sees her talking to a guy with the username VR Cowboy. Chelsea doesn't care about what her sister says and tells her to leave. When she gets to school, Chelsea receives more messages from the anonymous guy, but she doesn't reply. Then she sees Mia talking to Dylan and Seth. Mia tells Chelsea that Dylan is inviting them to his place that night. Later, Chelsea goes with Mia to Dylan's house, and after a while Mia leaves Chelsea and Seth alone. Seizing the moment, Seth kisses Chelsea and tries to get intimate with her, but she pulls away. The next day, Chelsea explains the situation she had with Seth and how that's why she ran out of there. After Dylan arrives and kisses Mia, Chelsea decides to respond to the anonymous guy, who reveals his name is Brad. He starts trying to deepen the conversation, but then the school security guard shows up and takes Chelsea's phone, since she's breaking the rules. When Chelsea's mom finds out what happened at school, she scolds her and grounds her, taking away her phone for a month. Without her phone, Chelsea tries to distract herself with other things, until one day Mia comes over and gives her a temporary phone. However, Chelsea soon realizes that Mia only visited so she could later go to Dylan's house. This makes Chelsea angry, and she tells Mia that all she cares about now is Dylan. Hearing this, Mia feels hurt and leaves. Chelsea logs into her account and resumes her conversation with Brad. She vents to him, feeling like she has no one else to talk to. Brad tells her she can talk to him and he'll listen. He then asks her about her profile, which says she's a cheerleader, and she confirms it. Chelsea goes to Christina's room, takes her sister's uniform, and after putting it on, she snaps a few pictures and sends them to Brad. They get on a video call, and Chelsea notices that Brad's face is blurry. He excuses it by saying he dropped his phone a few days ago and damaged the camera. Weeks later, Chelsea and Brad keep talking and suggest the idea of dating virtually. Suddenly, Chelsea hears a girl's voice calling for Brad, but he explains that it's his sister, Sadie. Brad then invites Chelsea to meet him at a Halloween party, and they agree that she will dress as a zombie cheerleader and he is a zombie quarterback. On Halloween, Chelsea tells her mom that she prefers to stay home handing out candy. But after her mom leaves, Chelsea sneaks out to meet Brad at the agreed location. When she meets Brad, he asks if she brought any drinks, but when she says no, they go upstairs to drink some of Brad's alcohol. After Chelsea drinks the entire bottle, she starts feeling dizzy, and Brad quickly takes her to his car, ties her up, and then smashes her phone. Moments later, Chelsea wakes up tied in a basement. Brad appears, gives her a plate of food, and unties her. The next day, he returns and calls Chelsea Sadie. When she tells him that's not her name, he slaps her. Hours later, Brad comes back and hands her a glass of water. He then asks her what her name is, and Chelsea replies, "It's Sadie now." However, Brad doesn't like her tone and throws the food on the floor, but despite that, she eats it anyway. Moments later, the light flickers on, and another cheerleader appears, introducing herself as Sadie. But in reality, her name is Megan. As soon as Megan removes Chelsea's chains, Chelsea runs out of the basement in a panic, but unfortunately, the doors and windows are locked. Megan grabs Chelsea and tells her to behave so they don't have any problems. Then, Megan orders Chelsea to sweep the carpet because everything in the house needs to be clean. After Chelsea sweeps, she goes up to Brad's office and sees him working on the computer. Megan takes Chelsea to another room, where she meets Heather, another cheerleader who also goes by the code name Sadie. Heather informs Chelsea that she's going to make a cake for Brad and leaves the room. When Megan tells Chelsea to clean herself up, Chelsea responds that she wants privacy, which irritates Megan. She shoves Chelsea against the wall and orders her to get into the bathtub. After using the bathtub to clean herself, Megan says Chelsea needs to bleach her hair to please Brad. Meanwhile, in Brad's office, he puts on a helmet with cameras and starts making stabbing motions with a knife as if he's attacking someone. While Chelsea is brushing her teeth, she hears someone crying. When she goes to check, she finds a girl named Tina who is hurt and tells her to leave, accusing Chelsea of betrayal. After Brad exits the office, he starts feeling a headache that gives him a vision of Sadie laughing at him. He goes to the kitchen and finds Heather baking a cake. He approaches her, trying to get intimate, and asks if she wants that. When Heather confirms, he forcefully pushes her head, causing it to hit the table. Heather goes to Chelsea's room and they get ready for dinner. Chelsea mentions that Tina needs medical help, but Heather replies that Brad would never take Tina to a hospital and informs her that it's their duty to take care of Tina. Heather helps Chelsea with her makeup and says they will have some time outside. Chelsea enjoys her time outdoors, but she finds herself immersed in a virtual reality headset. Brad cuts their fun time short and says it's time for dinner. But before they go, Heather reminds Chelsea that she needs to save some food for Tina. Chelsea starts eating before Brad and ends up receiving a warning with the threat of punishment. Chelsea begins to cry, saying she misses her mom, but Brad gets angry and tells her to stop crying. After dinner, Heather informs Chelsea that she has been there for 3 years and that now Brad thinks she's almost perfect, so soon she might be able to leave. At that moment, Brad appears and says it's Heather's final moment. Chelsea then goes to Tina's room to give her food and realizes that Tina is the girl who has been appearing in the news as missing. In the living room, Brad feels a strong headache again and recalls the moment Sadie was born when his mother paid more attention to her than to him. When he says he wishes Sadie had never been born, his mother slaps him. When Brad's headache passes, he tells Heather that her final performance will be different, and he promises to set her free if she can complete the performance. After they enter the basement, Heather gets ready while Brad puts on the helmet. When he asks Heather to do a cheerleader routine, she's taken aback to see him holding a knife. In this tense moment, she tries to escape, but he stabs her in the arm. Brad comments that his mother always hated him, which prompts Heather to scream at him, saying that she is not his sister. This causes Brad to attack Heather. She tries to fight back, but Brad manages to keep her under his control. When Heather attempts to escape again, he catches up to her, and this time he finishes her off. Brad then goes to Chelsea's room, and as he approaches her, he rests his head on her and begins to cry. Chelsea wakes up startled and observes Brad's strange behavior, but he soon leaves after hearing Sadie's voice. The next day, Megan talks to Chelsea through a hole in the wall of her room. Chelsea realizes that Megan has a mental issue when she tells her to stay away from Brad because she belongs to him. During breakfast, Chelsea uses all the ketchup, which irritates Brad because he wanted to use it. He then decides to swap his plate with hers. Megan laughs at the situation, but Brad gets angry at her behavior, leading him to punish both of them by taking away their time outside using the virtual reality headset. Hours later, Chelsea is talking to Tina and learns that Brad got her pregnant, which led her to try to escape. However, she was caught by Brad, who attacked her, causing her to lose the baby. In light of this, Tina begs Chelsea to end her suffering, but Chelsea refuses to do so. When she goes to change Tina's leg bandages, she notices that it's infected, which disgusts her. Chelsea then agrees to help Tina, but only if she tells her how to escape from the house. While Chelsea is cleaning, she finds a photo of the real Sadie, but Brad appears, furious, and tells her never to touch that photo again. Chelsea returns to her room, and suddenly Tina calls her, warning that Brad is mowing the lawn and advising her to grab the pills from his desk. After Chelsea leaves her room, she goes to Brad's room and finds the pills as well as Heather's necklace. Before leaving, she sweeps the carpet to avoid leaving any traces and heads toward Brad's office to try to access his computer, but she is unsuccessful. Frustrated, she then sweeps the carpet in the office as well. As Chelsea is leaving, she accidentally drops the pills on the carpet. Hearing Brad coming back, she panics but manages to pick up all the pills and returns to Tina's room. However, Brad hears Chelsea fiddling with the door, and when he opens it, Chelsea manages to hide. When Tina sees Brad, she looks frightened. Brad, angry, decides to eliminate Tina. Just then, Chelsea steps forward and pleads with Brad not to do it, offering to do the job herself. Surprised by her words, Brad watches as Chelsea approaches Tina and covers her face with a pillow, fulfilling Tina's earlier request. After that, Brad takes Chelsea to his office, where she puts on the virtual reality headset and watches a video of Brad eliminating Heather. She is extremely frightened but tries to hide her fears so he doesn't notice. He asks her how he could finish off Megan, and Chelsea suggests that he should knock her out. To distract Brad, she flatters him by saying he is perfect, which makes him fall in love with her. Subsequently, he takes Chelsea to a room where they become intimate. After Chelsea returns to her room, she lies down and begins to cry. The next morning, during breakfast, Brad keeps staring at Chelsea and Megan notices, feeling jealous. He mentions a new camera he plans to test, and Megan immediately volunteers to try it out. After they finish eating, Megan intentionally bumps into Chelsea in the kitchen, sparking a fight between the two. However, Brad appears and asks Chelsea to take Megan to her room. Once they arrive, Chelsea reveals to Megan that Brad is going to end her life. But since Megan doesn't believe her, Chelsea takes her to see Tina and also tells her that Heather was killed by Brad. Despite this, Megan still refuses to believe and she goes downstairs to tell Brad. Brad becomes angry and realizes he can't trust either of them. He then takes both of them back to their room. Chelsea talks to Megan through the hole in the wall, trying to convince her that they should unite, but Megan insists that Brad is not evil. Noticing that Brad has left his office, Chelsea goes to Megan's room to persuade her to come to his office. When they arrive there, Chelsea asks Megan to put on the headset to watch the video of Heather. While Megan is watching the video, Chelsea opens Brad's drawer to see if she can find anything useful, but she doesn't notice that he is already at the office door. He violently yanks Megan back to her room and then ties up Chelsea, taking her back to the basement. Hearing Chelsea's screams, Megan cries desperately and decides to take action by breaking through the wall of her room to go help Chelsea. In the basement, Brad puts on the helmet and prepares to take Chelsea's life. However, at that moment he experiences a headache that triggers a memory from the past, revealing that Brad killed his mother in order to keep Sadie with him. But Sadie tells him she would rather die than be with him, acting coldly in the situation. Meanwhile, Megan goes to the kitchen and struggles to open the drawer, but after several attempts she finally manages to do so and grabs a knife. As Brad starts hitting Chelsea, she retaliates by throwing a rock at him. Megan suddenly appears, but Brad manages to defend himself and attacks her. As he prepares to finish Chelsea, Megan rises and strikes him from behind. They grab his key and head for the door to escape, but suddenly Brad catches Megan and throws her to the ground, choking her. Quick-thinking Chelsea grabs the helmet and strikes him on the head, allowing both of them to escape the house. They seek help, and Chelsea successfully contacts her parents to inform them that she is alive. She begins therapy but remains traumatized by the events. Meanwhile, Brad is in a psychiatric facility, where he is frightened to see Sadie. The film ends with two girls arranging an online date, hinting at the potential for a new cycle of danger. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos, and leave a like to support the channel. See you in the next video.